So I want to get into real estate, but don't know where to start.
Well, what I would say is to join the Future Cash Flow Club. It's a community of investors where we talk about wholesaling, we talk about creative deal structuring, buying houses subject to, all of the creative stuff that everybody's talking about. You don't need a real estate license or any of that.
Wow, where do I sign up?
Well, I would say go to futurecashflowclub.com. That's futurecashflowclub.com. You can even get a free trial. Try it out today.
Hey Chris, is that you? Damn!
So yes, I basically just wanted to remind everybody exactly how the Future Cash Flow Club works, because I've been getting a lot of messages like, what is that about? How does it work? It's basically a group. So you see how I do these live seller calls, things like that. You get to get all the replays for all of those. You actually can get the paperwork, purchase agreements, assignment agreements, cancellation agreements, addendums, all of that stuff that you need if you sign up for the elite package at futurecashflowclub.com. Or if easier, it's probably you can just go check it out for a free trial. Lots of goodies in there, behind the scenes stuff, actual help with your deals. If you want to communicate, say, hey, I'm stuck on a deal, I need some help, I'm looking for lenders, I'm looking for whatever, I'm a resource for you. So all you have to do is be part of the club. futurecashflowclub.com. Check it out. Can you hear me? I don't know. If you don't know who I am by now, I don't know what you've been doing. You been asleep? Let me wake you up with something. Straight up. Yeah. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Chris Monroe. R to the O-E. I flip houses, rent cars, and make money. You know I'm not no motherfucker dummy. This how we... What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? This is the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke, Chris Cashflow, Money Monroe, and I'm right back at you with another real estate video. Today's video is being brought to you by Future Cashflow Club. Check it out. It's hot, and this is what we got. So I got a couple of different things we're going to be talking about tonight. Got a house of mine that got abandoned. Going to tell you what's going on with that. Got another property, went live on the MLS, the multiple listing service this weekend to sell a property. Also have some Airbnb stuff going on, some weird stuff, wacky stuff. One of them where I got some extra money and some free item. And another one where the lady got dogs and I'm supposed to have dogs in our property. So all of that and more coming up here tonight. So hopefully you all are having a good weekend, and we're gonna start off this week nice and strong. Get it going, get it popping for sure, because there's so many things with real estate people want to get into, flipping and stuff. Matter of fact, I met a guy that's flipping a property right now when I was out at the post office or the mailbox place. He's like, "Oh, you in real estate?" I was like, "Yeah, what's going on?" He's like, "Yeah, man, let me show you. I got this property." And he was printing out some papers basically with some pictures on it. I'm looking like, what does that mean? I mean, he had the address and big, beautiful pictures of the property. So I guess he's having some trouble with selling the property, because I looked up that property and it's been on a multiple listing service for about 90 days, 85, 90 days, something like that. So it's like, that's a long time to be sitting. He said, "Yeah, I flipped it. Look at how I did this. It looks so good." I said, "What you trying to get for?" He said, 105. And I'm like, a 2-bedroom over there, 105. That's good for a retail person, but I can't touch it. So you know what I did? I asked a golden question. "Is there a reason why you don't keep the house?" He said, "Well, I got a lender on it." I guess he's either using some type of hard money loan or something going on where he basically has to pay that property or that lender off by selling that property so that he can basically make his profit and be done with it. But like I said, it looks like, I don't know if it's a struggle or not. I mean, I'm guessing it has to be. He's been on the market all those days. Something's going on where he's got to be at the place printing out flyers, basically. And these flyers were not good. The pictures look good. This is that marketing sucks thing I always talking about. There's only 2 reasons a property won't sell: the price is too high or the marketing sucks. So I'm thinking it's probably a little bit of both on this one, because it's listed on the MLS. Pictures look good, but he was getting a flyer, and all that flyer had on it was photos and an address. He didn't have photos and address and contact information. And he was trying to hand me the flyer, and I'm like, "Oh no, I'm good. I can't do nothing with it. I want you to go." And he paying them probably $2 a sheet to print that out for them at the UPS store. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to take your thing you just paid $2 a sheet for, because they busting heads to print out stuff for people. So that guy, and he got the property in his name too. When I looked it up, it had his actual name. It didn't even have an LLC or a trust or some type of entity. It's literally in his name. So I was like, man, you playing with fire, because we don't put real estate in our own name. You know that. It's all, there you go, something like that. Everybody like that. So welcome in everybody that's just jumping in. Good to see you. It's a happy Sunday, and we'll have some people jumping on the Zoom or the video here shortly as well, Justin and the others. So, but before we get to that, I got, like I said, a couple of things that happened this weekend. One, that property, we got a property under contract, and it's really kind of tight as far as cash buyers, investors, because we all know when it comes to wholesaling per se or assigning contracts to investors, they want it real cheap, like $2. So I got a property under contract for $170, and I sent it out at like $190 as cash buyers. Then I dropped it down to $182, and they're all like, the highest offer I received so far was $160. Now I would like to go lower on a price, 160,000. But remember, I got it under contract for 170 or loan balance, and our loan balance is about 170. So I really can't go down to 160. So we're really tight. So what I decided to do in that particular situation is to list that property on the multiple listing service. What up? What up, D Howard? Good to see you. Happy Sunday. Good to see you. So yeah, I decided to put that property on the multiple listing service. So I'm getting some different types of buyers now. I had a couple people see it this weekend. One of them was a guy who walked the property and he was like, yeah, I'll take it. I like it, but I just got to go get my financing back in order because he had a pre-approval letter through a conventional loan, because that's how I put it out on the MLS, conventional or cash. Why wouldn't I put it out on an FHA loan? Because the property needs a little bit of work. Nothing major. It just needs some floors in the living room and basically on the main level. It needs floors. Beautiful house. Nothing really wrong with it from what I could tell as far as major stuff. It needs handyman fixes, if anything. So for that particular property, I'm thinking, throw it on a multiple listing service, see what kind of traction we get. So we had a couple people look at it this weekend, and I got somebody trying to see it next weekend, tomorrow Saturday. And I'm like, Saturday? Hopefully this property sold about before then. When you want to see it, you're not waiting on me. We waiting on you. I don't really want people waiting on me to view a property, waiting on me to get me money, waiting on me to execute. I want them to be able to move at their pace, which is, if they got to wait till next weekend, that's fine. But I'm just letting them know it may not be available next weekend. You can see it when you're ready. Just let me know. And so that particular agent is reaching out to her client, and they're going to find out if they're coming back to set up a time prior to next Saturday. Now, the other guy who did walk it that liked it, he walked the whole property. This property has a swimming pool, by the way, which is always a problem. We drain some of the water off of it, so it's not like it's supposed to be right now. But we basically drained some of the water off the tarp that's on top of the pool, and so we got to the under there, and there's water under there too, and the water stank. Ooh, it stank. You ever smell some stanky water, Justin?
Yeah, I have smelled a lot of stanky water.
Well, that's what that pool smells like right now.
The pool?
It's a swimming pool over in the house in Florissant, and so I got it on the MLS, and so I got people checking it out and stuff. So one guy that was interested in buying it, he just got to get with his lender probably tomorrow to get his pre-approval letter, I guess, reinstated or something because it expired. I'm assuming he didn't find a property during the time frame that he was supposed to. So he's going to get that together. He wants the property, but here's what he told me. I like to take it as is. All this furniture and this nice stuff in here, I'll take it. I mean, if it's easier for you. I'm like, oh, okay, I got you. He don't know it's as is anyway. What are you talking about? But he ain't getting that nice stuff. I'm taking all the good stuff out of there. So that's kind of how that's going to go as far as that is concerned. But what you got going on this week, Justin? Anything interesting?
Yeah, so I actually got a lot of interesting things moving and grooving. So I spoke so I'm promoting for the 4-family flat and everything, trying to get some tenants lined up for when it becomes available, because I'm gonna have 4 vacancies at the exact same time. So I'm looking to bam right up in there. So
have any of those tenants said they're going to move out, or are they still kind of ignoring?
Nope, they ignoring. So I got to go through with that paper, that legalese.
The paperwork makes the paperwork.
Yep. So basically, gonna have 4 vacancies. Been promoting and everything. In promoting, the woman who owns the 2 buildings on the left and right side of my building, right? She had called me up and basically let me know. She let me know what was going on with her properties and everything. So
she owns the other ones, right? Like 3 or 4 on that block. I saw that when I looked it up. It was like the same owner.
Yep. So she owned the one on each corner, basically. One of them is fully occupied and stuff. She got 4 tenants there. And then the other one, she renovated one side, and then she has 3 more sides to renovate. So I kind of was working through how I can make that happen and everything. Spoke to her. She basically said she would be interested in selling at $250,000. I'm like, is that the lowest? You'll go cash as is. You don't need to do nothing else to it. She said she'll go to 200. So I'm like, okay, I need to see the condition of the property and everything.
So wait a minute, you telling me you asked one simple question, they dropped $50,000 off the price just asking a question?
One question.
I just like to make sure, because sometimes I go over people's head like, I just assume because they said this number, that's what it is. I just ask a question and they come down on price. Now, in regards to your property, though, before we go too far into that one, what if the tenants did respond? Would you pay them to move? Would you do like a cash for keys or something for them?
You know what? I thought about that as an option, but I just don't think they would do it because they going, they live in rent free in this situation. So they, for me to pay $500 to $1,000 to get them up out of there, I just don't see them taking that opportunity. To be honest with you,
because to be honest, you want me to be honest, Justin? It's gonna probably cost you more than that to get them out of there the legal way.
It's gonna be. I calculated it up. It's gonna be like $1,000.
It depends. If they contest, they fight, they stretch it out. Not saying they will or win. I don't know what they're gonna do, but it's usually easier if you can communicate with them and try to get a deal with them versus going that other way. We have to go that way eventually, yes, but it probably is less stress to go the other way. Just being honest.
So I've hit them with 3 different notices.
Mm-hmm.
Right, one, hey, this is what happened. Here's the update. Taped it on their door. Right, hey, Mr. Boom Boom Boom, he has passed away back in August. We going under new management, trying to figure this thing out. Boom, no, waited maybe about 10 days, 2 weeks. Hit them with the second notice. Hey, please submit to me your lease. Blah 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 blah. Only one guy has reached out to me. He doesn't have enough money for him to stay in the property. He was supposed to bring me $750 on the 21st. Him and his girlfriend, he let me in the house and stuff. I took pictures. They sleeping on our mattress. He does not have enough income to stay where they live in. So, that's the situation with that particular person. Everybody else is just ignoring me. And then I hit them.
Are they literally living there though? Or are they coming in and going out, going to work, living their life?
I pulled up at multiple different times, early and in the evenings and stuff. I can't identify. I haven't seen anybody walk in the house. Maybe I could sit out there and wait, but I'm like, I ain't trying to do all that. And let's just go and file the evictions and stuff. But yeah, you're right. If they contest, I don't see where any money could be spent though. If I have somebody do it, pro se and stuff, and it might take longer, but.
Well, there's a lot of ways it can go bad or good. I don't know which way it's going to go because, when you're dealing with people, they're complex. Real estate is pretty easy. It's these people that are complex. Not saying that they would or wouldn't do anything, but they could damage the property out of malice or, you want to kick me out, I'm going to show you, because we don't even know who we're dealing with. At least we had a point of contact and they told you, go to hell. At least all right, we going to hell with gasoline draws. You already told me go to hell, let's go. Now somebody else, they're like, hey, I'm just falling on hard times. Hey man, we'll just let you out now. Go ahead and leave, broom swept, and we'll pay you $500. That's easier to work with that person than to go the other way or whatever. And they don't even have to be $500. I just said that because you did. But the other people, the not non-communicators, we don't even know, who they are, what they're doing, why they're there, if they're supposed to be there, anything. So it kind of makes it kind of, difficult.
Well, it's just one of those things where I just got to go into action and let it figure itself out.
Shit. There you go.
Yeah, and I got people who are going there no matter what the condition is, to be totally honest with you.
I know that's right. And that's the thing, too. So, even if those people decide to move, don't move, damage the property, do it. Whatever happened, going to happen. But I always try to, get something done without going that long way route because it might take months. And it might take no time. It might be easy to get them out. We don't know, but you're gonna find out.
Let's talk about this this deal or whatever, the continuation. Okay, so the lady who I spoke with, she has a fourplex vacant on all sides, renovated one side. I have people ready to go that can move in, that can give me immediate cash flow. She's hurting. She owes $80,000 on the property. She dropped down to 200. She tried to make a $120,000 exit. I thought about doing something to where, and it might be stupid for me to do, but I'm like, okay, maybe if I get her low enough on her property, I can assign her my property. That way she keep 4 doors. They renovated, and she sell me her property for what she owe on it, which is 80 grand, and I can make a wholesale exit on her property. I thought about that. What do you think about that?
Will she sell it for what she owe on it?
Yeah, but I have it presented in this way of assigning her the fourplex that I have, and she take.
Does she want more property?
I do. Her goal was to own all 4 of those, all 3 of those buildings and everything, but she could not. She's run out of cash. She's burning.
This is why I always like to ask, though. You know, even though I may know the answer, I mean, if there was a way you could get all the properties on this block, I mean, what is it that's stopping you from achieving it? And make them say, "Hey, I ran out of money." You know, even though we know they probably ran out of money, but what if there was a way we could structure where you can get all of these properties? I mean, how would that look for you? You know, some type of question like that. I'm always thinking, what's the question I should be asking them so that they can come my way without me making them come my way?
Yeah.
You know, not like I'm trying to sell you something. I'm just asking you a question. You told me you wanted this. I didn't offer you that.
Yeah. How deep would you get into a situation like this, right? For example, where let's say she owe 80, we do a second lien position on my property, the fourplex, and I get her down to 40 just so I can have enough room to wholesale it. You know, would you do anything like that? Is that too crazy, or how that type of stuff work?
I mean, it all depends on what she wants. You know, she got to want this stuff more than you do.
Yeah.
It's one thing that you want it, but what does she want? We got to figure out exactly what she's trying to do. Does she really want that other building that you have? What is she willing to do to get that building?
Right.
You know, we don't know. We're guessing. So it's always easier to have the conversation, ask her the right questions, and let her come around to us and say, you know what, Dane, I could get that other building, but I ain't got the money. Well, what if we structure the way where you could get the building, where you don't have to bring as much money, maybe a little something, you know, whatever you're going to say there, and let her figure that part out. But we need to understand fully what does she want before we pitch anything.
I get you. My other thing was just do it traditional. If she wants 200,000, get her to 200,000 structured over time. It takes a asset that she's paying out of pocket for every single month, losing money. I step in depending on the condition of the property. I already got somebody who will go into there right now. $2,000. No, what I put $2,500, $900 a month. If she got one piece of it renovated, immediate cash flow for me, and then I guess we figure out the other 3 sides to see what's going on with those.
So it's 4 units all together. I mean, it depends on how much work you need too. That stuff be adding up, as you know. It'll be 40 grand per unit. Oh, hell no. That's everything. Because them houses be kind of raggedy, you know, in certain areas. You be like, damn, y'all let this sit like this for 25 years? And it be sitting like that for 25 years vacant.
I got a meeting with her at 12:30 tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just, I mean, like I say, biggest thing is understand what she's trying to accomplish and then try to pivot it from there. Anything that you want, that'll come secondary. You know, depending on what do you want?
I either want cash or I want more doors, either one.
So you would sell her the property you got.
Mm-hmm. I'll assign it to her with the $250,000 loan on there.
But she'll say, oh, I don't know how that works. What you mean? We got to pay that off.
I'm like, how much did you pay to get that mortgage on the property you in now? Oh, we brought $30,000 to the table.
Well, give me that too.
Less than that.
I'll let you get it for 29.
Right. And this one freshly renovated. It's brand new. Brand new.
But you got the other 3 units though, right?
Other 4, yeah, other 4.
Yeah. So I mean, that's an expense. You know, it ain't renovated yet, so somebody gonna have to dump.
Mine is 4 fresh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Freshly renovated properties.
Well,
So,
you know, once we get in there and see what's going on, you know,
I've been in one already.
yeah. Some people just trifling. You know, so some people are great though. You might get in there and it's perfect. Might not even be a tenant. That's what I would hope for. Just be some squatters or somebody just going in and out, whatever, that type of thing. So, you know,
I thought about popping the locks on all those apartments and just going up in there and just figuring things out from there.
I'm not going to tell you to do that. You can do what you like to do in life, but it's illegal as it gets. Well, so what happened with your notices that you taped to the door? Did they take them down or they just
They take them down. They up in there.
Oh.
They living the good life.
So that's the thing too. On that letter, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have said anything about bring a lease and all that stuff. I just would have.
That was the second notice I put out there.
What did the first one say?
Hey, you know, this update on the situation. and stuff. There's new management coming aboard. We trying to figure things out. Please give us a call.
And they wouldn't respond. I don't know. So it gets tricky with that stuff. If they don't want to do anything anyway, and then you can do about it. But this is the problem you run into when you're in these type of areas too. Don't forget where you're at still. You're kind of in the trenches. You're dealing with these type people. We got to bring out the goons to make them some room.
I'm gonna put all my kinfolk over there, and we're gonna take over one piece at a time, get that thing right. My kinfolk need
probably take
in there. I'm ready.
So yeah, I just hope after all of that, the juice is worth the squeeze.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. The house, the Illinois property, I just got renovated or whatever, and just placed a tenant in there.
It's a tenant or a tenant buyer?
Tenant buyer.
Okay, and we got somebody in the house now. That's what I'm talking about. We gotta get it going. Woo-hoo! Go ahead, Justin. Now,
and $1,400 a month.
$1,400 a month. How much did they put down to make them serious?
$3,500.
Hey, that's good money. Shoot, you did good. If you can get anything out of somebody, you did good. They notice pay or quit. They don't get to pay a summons for court. They don't get.
You speaking of this whole thing about you said the cash for keys thing. I actually might call the dude James and just tell him, hey, if you go ahead and vacate now, I give you $1,000. That dude actually
that much. I like the other number better.
500.
Yeah, or just ask them, what do you need? If we were able to structure something to where you could be able to move out of here and get a fresh start and don't have to worry about this house anymore. They might say they'll do it for free, but I said we usually give a little something, that's to help you out with your move.
If I get the eviction on his background, he ain't never gonna be able to get nowhere.
I see why. He ain't paying right now.
You gotta pay the lay.
They said they want to live for free. They live in the good life. They live in that Kanye West life. So yeah, that's the real estate thing. That's property management 101 with that stuff. A whole game. So you already learned a lot just dealing with that situation by itself.
Yep. So I tried to rent to own the whole building. I did have a lot of people reach out to me about that. I had one girl who was actually going to pull the trigger. She was going to bring $15,000 to the table in order to get into the deal. She pulled out last minute, of course, and stuff, how they do.
Why?
She said, something came up. Her son said they got to pay for something or whatever. So, it is what it is.
That happens. I've had people have $15,000. I'll call them back the next day. They tell me, I bought a truck. Dumb. How you going to live somewhere if you bought a truck and now you're looking stupid? What they do? I be thinking, oh man, that money be burning their hand. Just so you know, if somebody come up with some bread, that money be burning their hand. I gotta spend it somewhere. Spend it with me. So I had a couple of crazy things happen here this weekend for some reason. I got a property that's been abandoned and given back to me that I installed a tenant buyer on back in January. They gave me, I don't know, $6,000 down or something like that to move in there. And about 2-3 weeks later, he's like, yeah, me and my girlfriend broke up. So I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Payment due in a little bit, due on the 28th, late on the 1st. Yesterday was the 28th. He wrote me today saying, oh yeah, I moved out. Talk to her about it. I said, okay. So I called her. I woke her up this morning. She like, hello. I said, hey, Nicole, what's going on here? Are y'all gonna pay the this month's rent or what? She said, oh no, I moved out already. I said, oh, so y'all both moved out? Yeah, we moved out. So they went their separate ways and left it out. So I contacted the dude back. I said, where's the key? He told me where the key was. I went over there, looked at the property. It looked not too bad. It needed to be cleaned, but they didn't tear up nothing. They left a little bit of junk over there. So a little trash out got to be done and cleaned up. But that property's going right back on the market as a rent to own. How do you love that, Justin?
It's beautiful, I guess.
Because people ask me all the time, you put these out on these rent to own, what happened if they don't pay or they move out or they leave? You put it back out and start all over again. That's what you do. You get another non-refundable from the next person, another monthly payment from the next person, and you start that thing all the way over again. What they call that? An infinite return. It never stops.
That's what I told Chin when I was placing a tenant buyer. She's like, oh, what if they don't actually buy the house? I'm like, you can put somebody else in it. And literally, got somebody to bring $12,000 to the table, and they'd have missed their first month rent.
They already missed, just like these people. Then they made 1 month payment. They did their deposit and money, and they made 1 monthly payment of $1,850, and then they ain't paid no more. Only thing that was bad about that particular deal, they took my washer and dryer out of there, even though that came with the house when I got it anyway. It ain't like I put it in there. But if my washer and dryer is not in that basement.
Wow.
I'm like, he paid $6,000 for a washer and dryer. That's cool. Would you sell a washer and dryer for $6K?
100%.
Sold to the highest bidder. So yeah, that's that particular dude there. So that property back out on rent to own. So far, marketing activity here this week. I think I got somebody that won it. We'll see what happens there. We're asking about that house after the fact. After I put these people in, I said, yeah, that house gone. They said, oh man, I really wanted it. I'm like, really? How y'all gonna want something after I've been marketing it for weeks? Somebody get it, now you want it too. Ain't that something? So I got that, and so I got another wacky story. Our house down on Itasca, always something with that house. So I got it out right now on the Airbnb. Somebody's in there for like 9 days, something like that. They're supposed to be moving out on the 1st. So this girl, she puts in there just one person. I look on the camera when they checking in, it's her and 2 dogs. So now I'm looking like, well, she got dogs. I'll just bill her for it later. Come to find out, this weekend, my neighbor over there called me and said, hey, Chris, whoever you got in there on that Airbnb, they dogs is loose. I'm like, what? I got the little one corralled and put him back in the house, but the big one is a pit bull and he ain't too nice. I said, oh my God. So I reach out to the lady and tell her, hey, your dogs are out. She comes back, I guess, puts them away. And then the next day she calls me saying, or messages me, hey, or not even the next day. Well, I guess you can't call the next day. 1 a.m. Hey, Chris, I'm locked out of the house. I lost the key. So she done lost the key to the property. Don't supposed to have 2 dogs there. So I'm finna hit her over the hammer with some fees. We're gonna charge at least $200 for the emergency lockout, $50 for late, just like it's emergency. And I don't know, well, the charge for our pets with Airbnb is already set. It's $10 per day per pet. So whatever that adds up to be, I'm going to be sending her a bill for that. But I'm going to do all of that once she moves out. I want to make sure she gets out of the property before I start hitting her with all these charges. Don't that make sense?
100%.
Because, I found, when you're dealing with people, like I just said, even with your situation, I don't want them to give me no extra problems that I didn't have. They know they messed up. She like, oh, yeah, I'll pay for it. But she don't understand. She paying for all those locks because that key fit every door on that property. If it's the garage door, if it's the back door, the front door, the basement door, that one key can open all those doors. So I'm just going to have the locksmith go over there, rekey it, get it back up and running, and bill her for it. So she's going to get a $250 to $300 bill. Or should I charge her more? What do you think, Justin?
I think $250 is more than enough.
Oh, you went nice on her now. So she lost the key.
Over at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's like 1 a.m. I had to drive all the way over to the south side to open the house because I had the other key on my key ring. Other than that, she locked out because she say she dropped the key down to her console in her car or something. I don't know, some silly mess. But she's like, oh, I know it's late. Yeah, it's 1 a.m. and you are on the other side of St. Louis. But this is what we deal with when we're out here willing to deal and talking about real estate, talking about hospitality, talking about helping people have a place to sleep. So that's an Airbnb story for you. And I don't know. So I just want to charge her that when she moves out on the 1st. And supposedly have a tenant buyer that wants that property as soon as she moves out. That's why I really wanted to wait too until she's out. Because if you didn't know, on Airbnb, if a person don't move out, you know what they do, right?
What they do?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. They tell you, oh, yeah, you got to work it out with them. Or they don't even get involved. They have nothing. They do. Airbnb does nothing when it comes to that. And I want to say it's probably the same for Booking.com. It's probably the same for VRBO. It's probably the same for all of them, So, you got to play smart, play to win.
So if they put a tenant in your property, they take no accountability for helping them get out your house.
Ask me how I know. But
they should give you some type of reimbursement because these companies all they be is technology companies, so they have no hard costs and stuff. So they should be cutting checks to landlords and everything if something goes astray.
They don't love you. They don't love landlords. They just love your property that they get to make money off of. So just so you know, that's why I always try to, work it out with the people or get them to a point where I can get their butt up out of there. And now I got control of the deal, then I can do what I want to do. But I don't want to have them in possession of my property and I'm trying to fight them and argue, man, I'm going to show you, and doing all that stupid stuff. And then you don't get your house back or you get it back destroyed or you have a problem that you couldn't have had just by playing a little bit smarter. It's playing chess, not checkers. Or we playing poker, not Uno. You know what I mean?
But do you always change your keys on your properties when them people be leaving?
Well, we got a lock box. We either have a lock box or a smart lock on the property, depending on the property.
But what's to stop them from making a key to your house?
They can make a key. Ain't nothing I can do about that. But this is why I keep good energy with people for this reason. We all, especially us looking like this, we always the fault. Man, I'm going to show that food. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And that stuff ain't going to get you nowhere. You know that from our good friend that's over there. You go straight hood mode. It sounds good or it might feel good right now, but it doesn't serve you well in the overall scheme of things. Unless you got control of your asset. That's something different. But when you're working people and trying to, I'm going to show you and I'm going to be a bully and I'm going to whoop on you and making threats. Okay, find out. F around and find out.
Yeah, because if you do that stuff, you got to go all out. You got to completely eliminate them.
That's my point there. You said it better than me. So this is why I always say, how do we find a way to work these people in a good way? We got to get gangster mode. That's fine. But I'm not defaulting to that because it's a lot of the problem going to come on my shoulders when the smoke clears. No matter what happens, whether they locked out, lost the key, whatever happened, even though that stuff's not really major, I could always get a locksmith to go just re-key it or something. That's not an issue. It's just that it costs money. It's an inconvenience, and she got to pay for it. I'm not paying for none of that. All of that comes back to that. So that's what we got there. So that's Itasca. And then the dogs. Like I said, $10 a day per pet. That's $20 a day.
Do Airbnb got insurance?
Yeah. Yeah, they got insurance.
What happened by one of their tenants? Do their insurance policy step in?
Well, so let's get it corrected first. They don't have tenants. That's the first part. They don't have the word tenant ain't even in existence. We can say it for this just to describe who we're talking about, but they are not tenants in any way, shape, or form.
Members, what are they?
Patrons, they're guests. You allow them into your home.
Okay, do they have insurance for their guests?
Yeah, they got insurance.
So if they break a lamp or something like that?
I'm sorry, what's that?
If they break a lamp or something like that?
Yeah, they pay for it.
The
default answer is the guest pays for it. In the event the guest doesn't pay, that's when we put a claim in and then they go through their process and then they pay. I've received money from stuff from them before. Mm-hmm. I've gotten paid from it and I've missed some where they didn't pay for it. Like I had that house over on Burton. I had some crazy people upstairs in that unit and on an Airbnb. They were there for like 3 weeks. And the lady was so drunk, she couldn't even come out of there. And so they tried to drag her out, got her out of there. She must have failed and put a big gash in the wall. It was a hole in the wall like that. I mean, it's not a major thing, but it is a problem. You got to match the paint and all of that stuff. But Airbnb did not pay for that particular one.
So Chris, with the way we, our acquisition play with the creative and all of that stuff, right? Obviously, you always want to put yourself in a win-win situation with going into it and, making deals profitable and all of that stuff. Would you say with, this particular acquisition play that you can scale up pretty quickly and really just have, a lot of assets and stuff like that? Like, I don't know how to really describe it.
Well, you could. It's just going to depend. The biggest
30 doors in like a year.
The number of doors is not your thing. The number of cash flow is what you're looking for. I learned that too because I dabbled in those cheap properties, and them things were headaches. That house I had in Ferguson, it made money, but God, it was a headache. It was a headache from the first tenant buyers to move in there. The girl tried to shoot her boyfriend, 2 bullet holes in the wall. Then after they came out, I got another person there. I guess he went to jail or something. I ended up taking the property back and selling that property. So you see what I'm saying? When you're dealing in certain situations, certain neighborhoods and stuff, you're gonna have a lot of extra problems. That was a little cheap house I bought for like 40 grand. You know, when you're dealing in those small, cheaper properties, it look good. Oh man, it's only 40 grand. Oh man, it's only this. But that thing be bringing problems, man. I don't want to be in no problem properties. I want easy cash flowing assets where I ain't got to do nothing but collect a check. So, you know, I try to keep my ARVs after repair values 100,000 and up, 150 and up, 200 and up if we can get it. That sweet spot is usually between 150 to 250. When you start getting, you know, way below 100 and way below 80 and way below 60 and way below 20 and all that, you in the trenches, man. It ain't worth it. That stuff would be a lot of problems. I.e., the tenants don't pay, they run out of money. You know, and that can happen to anybody, but it's just more problems that I want to deal with. From my experience, you know, so I got rid of a couple of my cheaper properties for that reason. They're too much work with not enough payoff. I like where I can mess up and still be like, damn, I made more money on that and I ain't do nothing. Like the house over here in Florissant where somebody's renting it for $4,200 a month and I ain't even have to furnish it. On a house that should be renting for like maybe $2 grand on the high end, somewhere between $1,800 to $2,200. But they paying $4,200, and they paying all utilities, and they took it as is, and they talking about they want to buy the property, probably here after their 6 months after their insurance thing is up, because they're on a fire damage claim. So your favorite company, State Farm, is paying the insurance claim for this particular lady to live in this house.
So how do the old school, you know, landlords and stuff who have all them properties in the hood, you think they cash flow?
Yeah, they cash flow. $100, $200. What's that? One thing break. One thing. Get one furnace break. I'm not even gotta go furnace. Let's go water heater. $2,000 to $2,500. $2,000 to $2,500 on a water heater. That can wipe out your whole year cash flow. Or 2 years of cash flow if it's a furnace or a roof or something. You know, we don't know. It's always something with these properties. So we want to be in the proper position before we try to start dumping a bunch of money in them, doing a lot of high risk deals on properties that ain't worth nothing. Now, if your property is worth, like I said, $250 and something like that happened, that's, you know, that's minor because the property value is so high. Even if you had to refinance it, sell it, whatever, you got spread on it. When you got a $40,000 house, a $20,000 house, it's like that costs that to fix it. It ain't worth that much. It's a play with it. It's nothing wrong, but I just don't want to dibble in that no more because I learned better. When you know better, you do better. So that's those there. So my other property I got back today. I've been getting a lot. It's been a busy weekend for some reason. The house in Afton. I had another Airbnb short-term rental person up in this house, and they moved out, and they told me that hey. They left a note that said, we left you $40 and the key is in the lockbox. It's the same code. I said, oh, because they broke the lockbox. They basically broke the lockbox I had on there. They went and bought another lockbox and left me $40 on with the property. How you love that? Ain't that something surprising? Because my cleaners got out there and like, Chris, the code ain't working. What's wrong with the thing? And I'm like, well, she said, it's a note on the door. Like, oh my gosh, it's always something. So I was going out there anyway to deal with that. So I'm like, they got me driving across St. Louis, that property all the way in South County in Afton. So I went over there and found that, they left $40 cash and a new lockbox on my door. I said, bless their heart. Let's give them a 5-star review. And this was a construction company that basically had their workers there. So I don't know what they did to mess it up or lose or broke the lockbox. They didn't try to complain. They just replaced it and gave me $40 for inconvenience. That's a double whammy. These are the little things that you don't know when you're dealing in real estate. There's a thing called upside. Sometimes you get lucky. Or would you consider that luck or just what? What do you call that, Justin?
I would say that's luck.
Because, I mean, it could be. It could be luck.
You didn't plan for anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, they just replaced it with a brand new, fresh lockbox, brand new, better than the one I had on it. They had a bigger one that you can put multiple keys in. I might take it off that house and put that on a different house and put one of my other boxes on that one. But, you know, that's all logistical and technical stuff that's after the fact. So, yeah, they got that there and left me that money and left me a brand new lockbox. I was happy. And I used that $40 to help pay the cleaners that was there cleaning it. I said, I'm going to pay y'all cash this time. Oh, thanks, Chris. And kick them down a little, their ducats.
So did my people come do the clean out for you or whatever?
I'm sorry, what's that?
I said, did my people come and do a clean out for you?
On a different house, not that one.
Oh, okay.
I might need to go back to that other house on the south side that I just got back that was abandoned. I mean, it's not that much stuff. It's like a pickup truck load. Matter of fact, yeah, I'll give him a call and see if he can. It's a simple, it's not a lot of stuff. It's just some stuff they left in the basement. But he ain't leave my washer and dryer. That boy was slick with that. Slicky boy. But at least the electricity and stuff is still on. I ain't even got to switch that over to my name yet. So I ain't going to switch it till it get cut off. I'm going to run that bill. Is that messed up? Would you do that too, Justin? Would you run that bill or just?
Of course I would.
I know that's right.
Without even thinking about it.
Without a second thought, run that thing. Oh, I ain't know it was on already. So I got something similar happening with that property that's listed on the MLS over here in Florissant right now. So I turned the electricity on in that property because it's vacant. But come to find out, the gas is already on, so they got the heat on up in there. So I was like, oh, bless their heart. That's the one I don't want to pay no way. I don't want to pay neither, to be honest, but part of the game. So what do you got planned this week? Anything juicy? Anything nice that's going to be interesting? Any good leads that you're really going to close?
So I'm going to have one of my people file bankruptcy so I can get a little bit more time on a deal and stuff. So need a little
You got to file bankruptcy?
Yeah. To do, get things to slow down a little bit.
What, the bank won't stop it any other way?
No, but I don't think so.
You tried?
Yeah.
And they said no.
They haven't said no, but they just not responding.
Call them. What bank is that?
It's called First State Capital, I think is the name of the bank.
I never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's out in St. Charles, actually.
I'd call them. Seriously. Say, hey, yeah, did you receive our file? Did you receive our paperwork? And when is the auction?
April 2nd.
Oh, snap. Yep. And I guess a temporary restraining order wouldn't help either, huh?
Well, the thing is, that has its own little process or whatever, right? When you do that stuff, you got to come with cash. It's not a cash deal.
What do you mean when you file it?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? It's
a temporary restraining order. When you file it,
uh-huh.
you have to. There has to be a sale. It has to be a purchase, an actual purchase for the cash deal. It has to be a cash deal in order to do. Hey, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what I was informed of.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding here. So you're saying that the temporary restraining order will not work because of what?
Because it would have to be a cash deal.
That don't have nothing to do with that. That don't even mean you're selling a house. Who said you're selling it or anything? Temporary restraining order just means I need a temporary restraining order to stop the process because this will put me in a bad position, i.e. foreclosure. That don't have anything to do with if you're buying, selling, trading, living in it. None of that has nothing to do with that. Them are two separate things. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Yeah, you buying it or not has absolutely nothing to do with a TRO. Has nothing to do with a bankruptcy. Has nothing to do with any of that stuff. The only time it has something to do with it if you're talking to the bank and you sent them a purchase agreement and your other paperwork, and then they said no to that. Now that has to do with purchasing, but the courts don't have anything to do with it if you're buying, selling, or what you're doing.
No, okay, well, shit, I'm gonna go do that then, because that's all I need.
Go do it tomorrow, first thing.
Oh, well,
Before you lay your head on that pillow.
Well, that's gonna be cheaper and everything, because
it would be cheaper, yeah. I mean, the only problem is it only give you that 10 days, So within that 10 days,
they still gotta reset and get it back on the auction. So
it don't even have an auction date.
40 days, huh?
It has an auction date. Oh, you said it does have an auction date.
Yeah, so that's really like 40 days, because once you do that and you stop the bank from going to that auction, the bank has to restart their process again.
How much is a TRO cost?
I don't think it's that much. I think
when you filed it, it wasn't that much.
$75 for the documents or whatever.
That's all it costs.
The filing fee.
That's what they charge at St. Louis County, or is it the city?
I ain't never done it in the city, so this will be the first time.
Probably $75, $100, and they gonna pay that, or you gonna pay it?
You already know I'm gonna have to pay.
They got $75. Well, it ain't. I mean, is it a deal?
I'm giving the property though.
I'm sorry. What's that?
I'm being gifted the property.
Oh, well, just sign it over.
Trash.
No, this is not trash.
Yeah.
You say sign it over. I'll take it. Sign here and here. Okay, the paperwork. So, in the event that they are able to do that TRO, I mean, they give you the few days. But is it a deal?
I think it is
A cash deal or a creative?
creative.
I mean, I've even stopped auctions with a creative. That house over there on Donview, I stopped that with a sub-2 contract. That ain't even a cash deal.
Yeah, that's because the banks don't read the contracts.
They show them. They look for a price and they look for a date and they stop it.
Yeah,
So, you know, a lot of times there's no reason to even get too worried about it.
they're not lawyers.
They just say, where the price at? Okay, it's more than what they owe us. Or that's why sometimes they ask for a settlement statement so they'll see what they'll net. This is another reason why they do that.
That's a great point, actually, because they don't want to read a contract.
Especially now, mine is 12 pages. So, you know, I make it interesting. So, yeah, I got to deal with that. I did I tell you I got the house arrears? They approved to put those arrears on the back of the loan.
Which house?
That house in Florissant, the same one where the girl is paying $4,200 a month on an insurance claim. That house was about 4 or 5 months behind, right? I got it approved to get the arrears put on the back of the loan.
You work with the seller to do that?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Did you work with the seller to do that?
I did it myself, yeah. I mean, I'm power of attorney. I can do whatever I want. They're going to have to sign the papers when they come in, but other than that, just to set it up, I can do all of that. That's not.
I didn't know you can do that.
Huh?
I didn't know you can do that.
Yeah. So here's the kicker, though. So she owes, I don't know, $17,000, $18,000 in arrears, right? I got that getting put on the back of the loan as a silent second. And then they said for this to go through, they got to do a 3-month trial period, the 3-month payment. And then the payment going to go lower. The payment was like $2,300 a month, which is high. They said the new payment is going to be $1,834. So they reduced the payment. And then I don't have to make a payment this month. I don't have to make a payment next month, but I do got to start making those trial payments in May. So I get $4,200 a month for the next couple months, or this month, next month, for free, without having even make no payments on the house. I got no money in. Can you believe that, Justin?
And you say you put yourself as a POA and you filled out all the paperwork with them. So they're not even in privy of all of this going on.
Well, let's get serious. You ready to get deep in the weeds here, Justin?
Yeah.
What paperwork?
What you mean with
It ain't no paperwork. It's a phone call. That's how silly this is. They ask you some simple questions like, hey, what got you into this situation? Loss of employment or loss of income? Okay. Has that situation been resolved? Yes, it has. And they put you back on the program. It's just that easy. It ain't nothing deep. It ain't no asking for no special information. Ain't nothing to sign. Now, once the 3-month trial period is done, they are going to send over some documents that have to be notarized by the seller or the borrower. And we just send that back in and everything good to go. All those arrears get on the back of the loan. Just that easy. So that house in Florissant is going on a 3-month trial period. First payment due in May, not April. So I get that free money. And then the other house on Itasca, where the girl I just got through telling you about, where she locked out, I just finished making the 3rd and final trial period payment on that house. So
you only had that for
a year.
A year, right.
Since March of last year, we've been dealing with that house. And so I got all that free money and income all those times until now. We just started making 3-month trial payments.
Wow, that turned out to be a great deal for you.
That's the beauty of creative real estate. When you understand how the game is played, you can get paid. Ooh, that's a good one. You can get paid in all levels of it. And it ain't about having a bunch of money. It ain't about having a bunch of good credit. It's about a skill set. Most people don't take the time to take a moment and truly learn real estate. How does this game play? What does this do? How do we make this work out for me or for you? And most people don't want to do it. They want to go study all this other stuff. Like, oh, I'm going to go do this hard thing that's difficult. Like, man, you need to learn real estate, man. Drop out of college, go learn real estate. That's how serious it is. Real estate is the one thing, the gift that keeps on giving. You can mess up in real estate. Like I say, this house is, remember, it's 5 months behind. Plus fees and whatever. That house was. That other house down there in Itasca was behind. I stopped that auction on a weekend when the auction was that following Wednesday, and had it all these months, basically a whole year of no payments, until these last 3 months we started making payments because we structured the deal properly. And this is why I come back to say it's all about understanding and getting the seller on board. If the seller's on board, we can do so much things with this real estate stuff. If they're not on board, then it's going to be very difficult. We need them to cooperate and do what we tell them to do. When we say jump, all they should be saying is how high. So we can solve pretty much any problem. Same thing with Donview. I'm finna get her arrears put on the back of the loan. She missed 17 payments. So we're gonna fix that. It's all real estate, and and it could scare a person. And I said before on one of these other videos, how much can you get put on the back of the loan? Do you know? Do you remember? Let's say your house is
It's not a number.
Let's say you owe $200,000 on a house. How much could you get put on the back of the loan?
It's not a number.
Sure it is.
$80,000?
No.
100?
Percentage. Up to 30%. Up to 30% of an arrears can be put on the back of the loan. Is that crazy?
Of a total loan? Of the total amount owed?
If they owe $200,000, I can get up to $60,000 put on the back of that loan as a silent second. Yes, up to 30%. I asked the lady on the phone, I said, because she was like, oh, we're looking up stuff and this. So let me ask you something. I mean, what's the most you ever seen somebody put, as far as getting arrears put on the back of the loan? She's like, oh, they can go up to 30%. She just said it like it was nothing. I'm like, damn. Well, let's get a little more late before we do this. Let's get 3 more months of cash flow before we put on the back of the loan. Free money. But this is getting deep in the weeds of creative real estate. I don't tell anybody to just try this stuff. I always say to learn how to do it. Take the time. Learn it. It's so serious. There's nothing better. And it's just money. They all making money. And the bank will work with you if you work with them.
Make that money. Don't let it make you.
That's right. You got to work with them, ask the right questions, and truly come in, trying to help them out. And they don't ask all the detail. Like I said, those simple questions they ask is very simple. What caused the get you late? Has that been resolved? Did you want the same payment, or are you looking to get a different payment? I think that's all they ask. And I say, the same payment every time. But this one, they didn't even ask that. They just dropped the payment down to $1,834. So that's crazy. And the girl living in it say she wants to buy that house whenever this insurance stuff is done. She already got her pre-approval and stuff. So we gonna sell it for more than what I would have sold it for. I'm gonna end up selling that house at full retail and making an extra $40,000-$50,000 on it, depending on what it is.
So you didn't have to get approved for a loan, Chris?
No, sir. We don't get loans in our name for any reason. In fact, you are forbidden. That's what my mentor told me when I started real estate. You are forbidden from getting property real estate loans in your name. You do not get loans. We do not need loans to buy real estate, especially if they already got a loan on it. Why would I start over a brand new loan, a brand new 30-year clock from scratch when you've already been paying for 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 years? Why would I want to start over? That don't make sense. And they probably got a lower interest rate than I could ever get. Investors, we get 6, 7, sometimes even 8%, depending on your lender. They bust heads on investors. I want that 2, 3%, which you got as a person that's living there. And I want to keep that low interest rate. That means my payment is low, which means I got more cash flow.
I got a question. So when you, my question to you is, when you be signing leases with the tenant buyers, do you sign the lease with the trust name on it, or do you sign it with your own name on it?
That trust don't do anything but hold title to real estate. That's all the trust ever will do. It don't go on no other documents. It's on public records. The trust owns that property. That's it. It don't get no tax returns, get no bank accounts. It don't do none of that other stuff. It only does one thing and one thing only, and that's hold title to real estate. Now, as far as when you're doing leases, you can put it as an LLC, leasing it to them, or you can do it from yourself. It's usually better to use it as an entity, but not that entity. And you can make an entity property manager of a property, or yourself property manager of a property, because most people don't look into that stuff anyway, to be honest. Actually, to be honest with you, no one has ever looked at any of this stuff that I'm talking about. Every property I own is in a trust, and nobody's ever brought it up like, hey, man, it's in a trust. What is this about? Nobody's never even thought about it. They don't even look at it. They don't even know where to look for that stuff. So that's why I always be talking about this real estate stuff can be used for good or for evil.
Evil.
So don't use it for evil. Use it for good. Help people out, whether they're in the hood or not. So that's what we got. What are you doing on yours? Are you leasing it from your name or from an entity?
From my name.
So the only problem with that, really, per se, so let's just say you put a lease in your name and they go to Joe Smith. He's going to be a tenant buyer. He's going to be a tenant, whatever. Like he's rented at $2,000 a month, $200, whatever. Let's say you got to do an eviction. Guess your names go on public record putting somebody in the eviction case. Oh, you can't hear me?
What's going on?
Sorry about that. Let me fix something here. How about now? Can you
Yeah.
hear me? So, any event you have to evict them or do some kind of legal action, your name is on public record. Justin Holmes is suing somebody or is evicting somebody. You got your name on public record for life when you could have just had it in an entity that you made up that don't own any property anyway. That's how I do it. So
With the use the LLCs to.
it's like $50, right? So I mean, you can use a empty LLC that owns nothing; it only manages property. Or
Do you do your management LLC?
Correct. Yeah.
Pretty houses.
We have an entity that does nothing but manages property. We have two entities, as a matter of fact.
Right.
Yeah. So we have two entities that do nothing. That all they do is manage property. So if I have to sue you or do something, it'll show that, hey, yeah, this action is being brought to you by ABC LLC, versus Joe Smith that didn't pay their damn rent.
Let me ask you this: at what point did you start getting that part of the gang together? So I know you jumped into it. You ain't know nothing about nothing. Didn't have paperwork, anything. When it got paperwork, got a woman out of contract, fumbled your way into $5,000 or something like that. Was your first deal?
No, my first deal was $20,000.
20,000.
Oh, well, my first creative deal, I should say. My first wholesale deal was $1,800.
Right. So at what point did you when you started doing creative, were you already set up with this stuff, and you started fixing that stuff later?
Set up with as far as what?
With the property management LLC,
yeah,
housing in the trust. You was already schooled up, ready to make that
from
stuff.
Jump.
Okay.
All from jump. Never put property in your name. Like I said, I learned from the greats. So you do not put real estate in your private name for any reason, ever. There's no reason to, because now I got a bullseye on my back, especially being on the internet. Somebody say, oh, let's go sue him. Let's go find out. I don't own nothing. I own nothing and control everything. I'm a puppet master. So, yeah, I knew from day one to put the property straight into a trust. Transfer it straight from the seller or borrower straight to the trust. And then the proper way to do that, and then some people don't do this the proper way, the actual proper way to do it is you do that warranty deed to trustee from the property owner to the trust. You make the beneficiary of that trust the borrower. You keep that document, and then you set up another set of documents where you assign a beneficial interest of that trust from the borrower, the seller, to you or your entity from them. So only everything that they ever see at the title company or anywhere else always got their name on it. Or even you can use that if you even send it to the bank and they're like, hey, you got this out of your name. Oh no, look, it's in a seller's name. And you send them those documents, not knowing that it's already been assigned another beneficial interest of you. But that's getting deep into the weeds of trust and things like that. And a lot of people don't understand that that's the proper way to do it. It's an extra step. It's this extra paperwork. All of this stuff is paperwork. Real estate breathes through paperwork. And people. Can you talk to people? Can you do paperwork? Well, you can do real estate. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and then wait. So, yeah, you learned it quick too, though, Justin. You didn't come in doing nothing too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Not out of control. So, yeah.
I'm going to have 30 doors this year, Chris.
We'll just get the cash flow. Don't count doors. Count the cash flow.
Count cash flow.
You know, $100 cash flow, $200 cash flow. I want to see some numbers. Because even that house on Itasca, that house cash flow for months. I mean, I was getting, what, $3,000 a month? The house over here on Foxwood that I just got back again from another group of people. That house in Maryland Heights, that house cash flow, what were they paying? $3,500 a month? No, $3,750 a month. My bad. I'll try to short them. $3,750 a month, and the payment on the house is like $900.
If I'm getting $1,200 of cash flow from a 4-family flat, is that good cash flow to you?
Could be, depending on how much work you got to do. Do you have to manage that? I don't want to work for money. The rich don't work for money. I don't mind working, but I don't really want to work for money. I'd rather work for assets. That's the trick they don't tell you. Work for assets, not for money. You know, we can be out here fighting and doing all that. Oh, yeah, but I got the cash flow up. That's cool. I don't want to work it, though, to be honest. I get $1,200 cash flow and do no work. Matter of fact, that house I was just telling you about, this she paying $4,250 on. For now, I mean, it's gonna be cash flowing $2,000 or $2,200 a month. That's a lot of money on a single family house. And people could tell me, all these people have been in the game way before me, telling me you can't do that. How do you know what you can do? All you need is two willing parties, a buyer and a seller, a tenant and a landlord. You need people to agree, understand what people want, and give them what they ask for. And you pivot and put yourself into it as well. So that's what we got, my man. Any other questions, Justin? I'm gonna shorten this one up tonight because I'm gonna go eat. I've been running around all day messing with these properties. I'm supposed to be getting my other house on Gilrose back Friday. She wrote me back, say she'll be getting out of their house. She'll have it cleaned out by Friday, supposedly.
I got a tenant buyer for you for that as well.
We'll have it back Friday, so it'll be going out this week.
I need you to call me after you get through eating.
That'll work. That'll work. Other than that, any other questions, comments, concerns before we get up out of here and do some more woke stuff?
When the next meetup?
Next month.
Third week of April.
Let's see here. What's next month? April Fool's Day. I'm gonna get you with that next week. I'm supposed to close 2 deals on the 17th. That's my dad's birthday. Rest in heavens. So maybe that weekend.
House was an old school pimp back in the day.
He's 417 and I'm 1017. How we pull that off?
Girl, that's crazy.
So yeah, it'll probably be the third week. Yeah, we'll see. I'll get something together for that.
Old pictures of your poppy had that Jerry curl in his head. I said, oh yeah, he probably kept a long fingernail, a long pinky nail. I said, I see what kind of brother this is.
Oh no,
it's a cowboy fan.
So hopefully you got something good out of this today. But before I let you go, Justin, you know my question of the day is the same thing. What have you learned today, Justin, if anything?
I didn't know you can get the people to sign off on a POA and I do the loan modification on them like that. I didn't know you can but I guess it makes sense you just call them and do it with no paperwork. But the POA thing is a very interesting thing. It's great, just a little thing I ain't really trip off of.
Well, it goes deeper than that. It ain't even about the POA, the power of attorney. It ain't have nothing to do with that. You can do this same thing with the authorization to release just to be able to speak to the bank on behalf of the borrower.
Right.
That's how gangster this is. And if you're really, really gangster, you can become the borrower. You don't even have to send all that in. Just, hey, my name's Joe Smith, social 4472, and the address is this with this zip code. And I had to do that on short notice to get deals through. But they gave, with their permission, by the way. Not saying I'm doing something wrong or bad, but there's ways to do this stuff. There's ways to solve these problems, help these people with real estate. And you can do it, Justin. All you need is the seller to be cooperative. If you got a cooperative seller, there is nothing you cannot do. That's all you got to remember. 30%.
Yeah.
That's right. 30% of the risk can be put on the back of the loan. And that can be a lot of money. That can be $60,000. If it's a $200,000 loan, that's a lot of money that does not have to pay and put on the back as a silent second. As a partial claim. That's what that's called, a partial claim. So hopefully you got something good out of this. Any final words, Mr. J? Well, you know what I'm going to tell you. The same thing I tell everybody. Do what you do. Be who you be. And I'll see you before you see.
So I want to get into real estate, but don't know where to start.
Well, what I would say is to join the Future Cash Flow Club. It's a community of investors where we talk about wholesaling, we talk about creative deal structuring, buying houses subject to, all of the creative stuff that everybody's talking about. You don't need a real estate license or any of that.
Wow, where do I sign up?
Well, I would say go to futurecashflowclub.com. That's futurecashflowclub.com. You can even get a free trial. Try it out today.